Coming up, we'll be talking to soap actress Lysette Anthony about her life-changing diagnosis of Parkinson's disease and how she's turned to humour to cope. And after the break, we'll be joined by Hollyoaks actress Lysette Anthony. She'll be sharing her emotional journey following a diagnosis with Parkinson's disease and why Billy Connolly is such a big inspiration. 6 years ago, actress Lysette Anthony was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, keeping it to herself while juggling a busy job on the set of Hollyoaks. Well, last month, Lysette decided to go public in a bid to raise awareness and potentially help find a cure. And she joins us today to tell us more. So, ladies, please welcome Lysette Anthony. Oh, please be careful.
It's not Parkinson's. It's just
I know, yeah.
It's so lovely to have you on the show this afternoon. And how have things been since that diagnosis all those years ago? Interesting. Different.
Interesting times, definitely. Yeah. Terrifying, inspiring, wow. And I'm swinging around.
Yeah, that chair does that, I'm afraid.
Yes, we can all go through. Can I just do a copy of the Billy Connolly? Do you know his review, which is absolutely fantastic, where he's basically saying don't symptom watch because I've got Parkinson's, and then he says Ian Holm had said to him, if you start shaking, put your hands in your pocket. He says, unfortunately, he didn't tell me which pocket.
It's important to mention Billy Connolly because that was the spark for you to realise that perhaps you had Parkinson's because you were listening to his Desert Island Disc.
It was, but it was more. It was a profound knowing. I account it to my Irish witchy genes, but just one of those. Here we go again. Just hearing him talk. That's what I've got because
So that's what you must have suspected for a long time.
No,
there was something a little bit wrong, but you didn't really face up to it. Is that right?
but it was more that. I have always got nervous going on stage. I don't think it's counterproductive not to, in terms of, but it started to get worse, and because I was completely fine until I had to light a cigarette and on stage, and I just couldn't. And that's when Sophie Ward, she's Dr. Sophie Ward now, la-di-da, she said it's almost like your hands don't match your body, and
was that the first sign? Do you think?
For me, but it wasn't. The only other way I understood that was doing interviews. People would say, but it was difficult times, many difficult times, and I would shake, start to tremble.
So how did you get confirmed? How did you get it confirmed? Because it's not easy to diagnose, actually, is it? It's mostly by...
Well, I think, actually, when you... I mean, apparently Billy was walking in an airport and someone walked behind him. Once you know what it is, you can start to see your muscles start to twist. And that's when the worst is the shuffle, because you're just unable to function in the same way in terms of movement. But for them, honestly, the consultant, when I finally got to see a consultant, literally walked behind me. Really? And then there's certain tests in terms of, can you do this, can you do this? And then he said, yes, you have, but because it's the first time they've told me in a long time I was too young, it's like, I'll take it. I had a brain scan, which is amazing. Have you ever had a brain scan?
No.
Oh,
how does it work?
Oh, my God. They give you, it's like Alice in Wonderland. They give you this potion. Yeah. I'm sure it's got some other fancy word, but, and that dye knows which bit of your brain to go to.
Wow.
And then they go, and then it came out and you saw the dopamine, one-sided.
Yeah. And what was it like for you and your family and your son, in fact, when you got that diagnosis?
Well, this is me all over. I don't remember about that bit. I remember that the main thing was when we moved up for Hollyoaks, and the hardest, I feel so bad about it, was saying to him, because he was 11, you cannot, let's find someone you definitely can talk to, but you cannot confide in anyone because I'll,
You were scared of
I'll lose
losing
my
your job, yeah.
Was that one of your prime concerns? Because obviously you're a single parent.
Well, being a
But-
single parent
yeah.
and being an actor, I mean, it's not only possible to how are you meant to work? You either Lisa is Lisa still? Does Lisa?
Maxwell?
Yes.
Yeah, no, she's not.
Because I remember when I did some work, actually when I was giving birth to Jimmy, because they wrote it into the story and then it was like, can you hurry up? Well, we had to wait around for Jimmy to... Anyway, but just being very impressed by the fact that she's been able to bring up her kids, because you're in one place. So that's the she would say trade-off.
Yeah.
You talk about when you told family and friends how they have a certain look that they do, that you don't like when they... Because I know Carol expressed that as well when she told people...
Yeah, when I was reading about you, exactly the same thing. It's like, when I had breast cancer and I decided not to tell anyone because I didn't want people looking at me in a certain way, as if to say... Yeah, and it's like, you see it as them kind of writing you off, like that's
definitely,
it. Yeah,
absolutely, definitely. And also it's... but it's the great mysteries of life, and death is death, and we're very bad at it in this country.
Yeah.
We don't
I think
know.
that's the problem, isn't
Yeah.
it? People can't handle it. They just... It's almost like, you know, I didn't really bat an eyelid when I was diagnosed, and I just thought, I'll be all right, I'll get better, I'll get cured. But your condition is for life, isn't it? So
I'm doing the delusional. I'm choosing that one. We're close.
Yeah.
In fact, I mean, there's so much stuff going on. I don't know. I did the first year or so, barely being able. You know, I had to get out of bed because I had a job and a child. Oh yes, quite. You know, need more than feeding and watering. But yeah, definitely was absolutely lost all hope. And with now, I've made some big decisions, and
you've decided to be positive now.
well, I've decided that my add-on has got a name, and it's Parky, and for me, I sound like, you know, me and my act, you know. But now that we are a partnership, I've failed in all my marriages. This one seems to be working.
Also,
and I'll get rid of him. And I'll get rid of him.
and also, Lysette, you want to make a documentary, don't you?
Yes, I do, and it's about all of this, because, again, you know, there's a lot of... It seems to me that, especially in this country, there's so many amazing researchers and dedicated people, but they're also busy. I mean, my consultant has been working in A&E, but literally sweeping up because he wants to help during the pandemic and all the rest of it. None of these departments talk to each other, but also it's like, let's, you know, follow the money. So the money is beauty industry, war and sports. And you start looking at the stuff, the red light treatments and all of this that's come from NASA.
It's very much about finding out what works for you in your daily life. Lysette, thank you so much for joining us.
Well,
It's been
thank you for the time.
a pleasure to have you with us this lunchtime.